NASA is now investigating unexpected damage on the Artemis II heat shield. After the Orion capsule returned to Earth, engineers found areas that were more charred than predicted, meaning the heat shield didn't behave exactly the way it was supposed to during re-entry. And that matters more than anything, because during those final minutes, that heat shield is the only thing keeping astronauts alive. When Orion hit Earth's atmosphere, it was moving at nearly 30,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, the air in front of the capsule compresses so violently that it turns into plasma, superheated gas reaching temperatures above 2,700 degrees Celsius. That plasma wraps around the spacecraft, cutting off communication completely. For several minutes, the crew can't talk to Earth. No updates, no call for help, nothing. Everything depends on the heat shield. NASA designed it to survive this using a system that doesn't fight the heat, but absorbs it. It slowly burns away on purpose. This is called ablation. Layer by layer, the material sacrifices itself, carrying heat away from the capsule. But here's the problem. That process has to be predictable. Engineers calculate exactly how much of the shield should burn, and how it should wear down across the surface. If it burns too fast or unevenly, you don't just lose material, you lose control. And after Artemis II, the data didn't line up perfectly. Some parts of the heat shield appear to have experienced more intense charring than expected. Not catastrophic, but not fully understood either. And that's what NASA is trying to figure out right now. Because re-entry isn't a smooth process, it's chaotic. Small differences in speed, angle, or atmospheric conditions can create hotspots, areas where heat builds faster than predicted. If that happened here, it could explain the uneven damage. But it also raises a bigger question. Was this within safe limits, or was it closer to the edge than NASA is comfortable with? Because if a heat shield behaves unpredictably, even slightly, that uncertainty carries into every future mission. Artemis II was a test flight. Its job was to reveal problems before astronauts are sent on longer, more complex missions. And this might be one of them. Because on the next missions, there's no margin for error. The spacecraft will go further, stay longer, and return under even more demanding conditions. If the heat shield isn't perfectly understood, that becomes a real risk. Because during re-entry, there's no backup system, no second layer, no way to fix anything once it starts. Whatever condition that shield is in, that's what you're trusting with your life. Artemis II made it back safely, but the fact that NASA is still investigating this tells you something important. Even when everything looks like it worked, there can still be problems underneath. And in space, those are the ones that matter most. Because this isn't the only issue from Artemis II that's still being studied. There are more systems, more moments, and more things that didn't behave exactly as expected. So if you want to see what NASA isn't fully explaining yet, like and subscribe, because the next one might be even more serious. Thanks for watching.